Here we have part 2 of the 50k route guide. Hopefully you enjoyed the first part and what insight you could get from me stopping and starting on that wet run. But here we have bright sunshine, so I'm just hiking up towards where I left off in the first video, the top of the VD path, and I will, and I will be showing you more of the UTS, UTMB, XYZ 50k. So this is it, picking up the last video where we left off, just over halfway through the race. I think you're around 26 kilometers in, and now you've also got 7k worth of downhill down to Bronovedu Farm, which is the next checkpoint. I guess the important bit to think is though that you're also descending 850 meters, which is quite a lot on the quads, with still some of the race to go. So don't get too lively coming down here, just aim to get down safely. Again, keep an eye on your fueling. It's easy just to forget about it all the way down a mountain, especially if you're keeping an eye on footwork. Take your time, even if you need to stop to get something out of your bag. There are some little bits where it's bigger boulders or steps to come down. Yeah, just get down to the bottom safely, and then once you do hit the bottom of the VD path, it becomes a lot more runnable and you can run into the next checkpoint at the farm. So that is the VD path. It's a lot windier today, so I've even mic'd up for you, no expense spared. But then you make it down to this, the lower slopes, which is just nice, easy runnable stuff, until you will hit a flag hopefully, but keep an eye on your GPX because you're going to drop down towards the farm. So this is where the turn off is. And you can see that it starts going towards some boggy ground down towards the farm. So it's not more than probably 100 meters from the bottom of that VD path that you come off, take a left hand turn. So if you feel like you've got a bit too far down the path, make sure you either check your GPX or check that you haven't missed a flag, because you do not want to miss this turning, really. As you can see, this part of the route is really easy to navigate. It's really easy to run down. If you are still running, you can see Mynydd Mawr there. That's what you're going to go over in a little short time. But yeah, you're just making your way down to the farm. There is some slippy, boggy bits. You'll go through the farm over towards this campsite. Always be careful and look out for the bears as soon as you go through this gate and up into the woodland area. So after a short climb through those woods, you will hit that gate, and then we will start climbing on the open mountain, really. I mean, if you get a view like today, I know I keep banging on about the views, but that's why most of us are here, I imagine, doing these races, whether it's 50k, 100k, 100 mile, or the 25k, shouldn't forget about that one. This is heading up towards Mynydd Mawr now. Mynydd Mawr now, that's a bit of Welsh for you. But yeah, it is a decent climb and it steepens up. I think on previous years it's ran down this way. It's great running down the zigzags, which I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, it's just a good honest climb. You're in the second half, obviously the 50k, the last third or quarter of the other races, so you'll be feeling it no matter who you are now. But yeah, you can see big open mountain on a windy day. I can tell you it is windy. Get your poles out or get your hands on your knees, chow down on some food, and I'll give you an update about halfway up maybe, or when we hit the zigzags at the bottom. those zigzags on the bottom part of the climb is probably the steepest part, and then it levels out a little bit, enough for you to take a look behind you. And if you follow my finger here, you can see pretty much the whole route of what you've done. That's where you've just dropped down to the farm, and that's coming up Mynydd Mawr now. Once you get to that flatter point, there is a great kind of view of where you're about to go to. So yes, it levels off, but it's still a bit of climbing to do to get to the summit. And if you're feeling fruity, then you can open up your legs a little bit more here, or you can just enjoy the wind absolutely pelting you in the face, no matter what the weather is like. And what a hill this one is. Very underrated, I think, anyway. Like I say, coming down this way, running down there is a brilliant feeling. But you won't experience that at the UTS. You get to hike up it and run down the other side through all the bracken and gorse and stuff instead. Swings and roundabouts though. At the bottom of Mynydd Mawr there is a right fork, and yeah, like I say, hopefully it'll be marked, but as we are in Snowdonia and not the Alps, sometimes well placed flags and markers are moved for whatever reason, so you do have to just be a little bit aware of that kind of stuff, because what you don't want to do is drop down that way when you're heading over here. Yeah, just a small thing to take note of, because I think in previous recce's or previous times I've run down here, I've done exactly that. Not in a race necessarily, but yeah, just carried on that path instead of taking the right fork. And then it goes onto some nice single track stuff running down towards the village. This is all part of the descent down to Betws-Garman, which is the next checkpoint at 40k. 40k, you might think only 10k left, and I know I said you were halfway at the top of Llanberis Path, but it's at this point of the video where I say it was a bit of a lie, because there's actually 55 kilometres in total for the 50k race. So just make sure you're aware of that. So there is actually 15k left at this point. Once you leave the churchyard, you've got a couple of fields to kind of navigate, and then you're up onto the open mountain. And although it is yet another climb, it is ultimately going to be the last climb. You're climbing now until you get to the Moel Eilio range, and then make that turn for home, which tops out at around 850 metres, I think. So every step up is one closer to home. So when you skirt around that farm, which if you're doing a recce, it's very obvious that you have to follow the set route. There is a sign up there, so don't stray off where you're meant to go. If you are recceing, you will eventually get to the woods, and you skirt round pretty much the edge of the woods. Some soft ground, but it's easy to pick your way through. Again, like I say, it'll be marked at this point. As I say that, I was just wandering off route a little bit, but yeah, just have to pick your way through certain bits like this, I guess. But yeah, nothing crazy in terms of navigation. It looks quite a well used trod around the fallen trees and stuff. at the moment, so whether you're on the footpath or not, look, there's only one way to go. So this is the view you'll get. You've just come up this way, and although it was a steady climb, it's not like the last couple of climbs that you're going to have over the Alio range, which is the cool bit, because behind us there is Llanberis, where you're going to finish, and yeah, this is Alio range, the last big grassy lumps. It will be windy no matter what, I can pretty much guarantee. It's windy now on the lower slopes. Great fell race route if you ever get to do that, and I think that's coming up actually in May maybe, so you might not be doing it this year, but yeah, great fell race route. And I guess if you make this turn, you know you're going to finish. So there's not much option if you get up there other than to get yourself back to Llanberis. If you take that path, it's quicker, but it's a quick way to big fat DNF. So as long as you've got any bit of energy to get yourself up this hill, you've got to do it, because you will be rewarded getting back to Llanberis. And I think it's handy if you do go for a recce. I find it good anyway, to almost picture myself turning the last, or making the last few turns, going up through the last few hills. If there's any decisions I need to make about how I'm feeling, it's great to know that you've already done it. I know not everyone's going to be able to recce it, and that's why I'm doing these videos, but you can at least maybe picture yourself from this video going up the last few climbs. It will be a hike unless you're maybe leading to 50k, so just, yeah, get your rhythm, keep getting that food down you. There is still probably 10k to go, I imagine, so yeah, make sure you're eating still and get yourself up and over the last few bumps. So that's it, that's the last significant climb ticked off, and fingers crossed on the day, no matter what distance you are doing, we have all got a little bit left in the legs just to enjoy the run down the big grassy banks of the Alio range. It looks pretty much like Teletubby land on acid, if I'm honest, and if you got good weather it's brilliant, but it can change quite quickly up there. The wind can be really strong, so although I've picked a good weather day for this recce, we might not be as lucky. You pretty much just pick your way down the mountain over a few of these styles maybe, and then yeah, a couple of hands on knees jobs, but no significant climbs now. Like I say, like all big massive races, you will get glimpses of the finish line. You can see Llanberis off in the distance quite often, and you've just got to keep moving forwards, I guess. On the way down from Moel Alio, you will also hit Foel Vron and Foel Goch, the summits there, without even realising it really. This is the last descent, which can get pretty steep before you hit the footpath down into Llanberis. So again, it's been so windy here in the past that I've had to drag myself down on the fence line. Don't be surprised if you get a bit of a blast in the face here. But once you do hit the footpath, I think you've got about 4k of really easy running, or at least fast hiking at this point. With just a few kilometres left, there is a small incline to get you back onto that lane that led you onto the Llanberis path earlier in the day. You will remember how steep it was going up. You've got to go back down that, and then you will hopefully be running past the train station at the bottom of the mountain. Everyone will be out supporting. You will run past the car parks, make one right turn, and then you have got just a kilometre left to go, which I will leave to your imagination what the finish line will be like. Hopefully this has been of help to you. If you've got any questions about the route or the race, please let me know in the comments below, and I will do my best to get back to you.